I'd long stopped asking questions the day they assigned me to patrol Sector Marrowshade. Questions led to eyes on you. Eyes led to deletion. My designation is Kieran Vole, a compliance scout for the Dreamar conglomerate. Peacekeeper, they called it in the recruitment data feed. Enforcer, in truth. I'd seen what happened when sympathy overrode orders. Those who faltered got archived, names dissolved into static on files no one revisited. On the 7th sun cycle of my second sweep, my skycruiser Irelis pulsed with an anomalous reading, biothermal, irregular, trailing faint but erratic over a canyon carved by ancient ice melt and time. I descended. Carefully. Dust curled in copper spirals. The canyon's maw loomed below, vast and vein-like, webbed in fractures that pulsed faint with forgotten energy. My boots hissed against shale as I advanced. The signal grew louder, harsher. That's when I heard it. Not a voice. A sound, half animal, half hurt. Rhythmic thumps, chains clattering, low growls of something neither tamed nor willing. And then I saw her. Not fully conscious, but awake enough to flinch when the beast tugged. They'd bound her. Arms outstretched, spine twisted, feet scraped raw. The alien girl, if one could even call her that, had skin like dusk-drenched amethyst, hair the color of cryo-embers, glowing faintly under the second sun. Her wrists bore scars layered with fresh wounds, metal cuffs latched to each limb fed. Into cables wound around a creature, some monstrous hybrid with tusks like razors and a back like a living tank. They dragged her. 10 long days according to the chrono stamp embedded in the beast's collar log. I stepped out from behind a jagged spire. My weapon, a collapsible photon arc lance, remained sheathed. The girl turned her head, barely. Her eyes met mine, and I faltered. Those eyes, they held something I hadn't seen in years. Hope. Not anger. Not rage. Not surrender. Hope. I should have walked away, reported her to Central, left her fate sealed. But something clawed at my chest, an ache, ancient and buried. I remembered my sister, forgotten, sold, never saved, not again. The beast noticed me. Its stance shifted, low and aggressive. I moved slowly, palms out. Easy, I whispered, though I knew it wouldn't understand. I tapped my wrist pad. Silent pulse, EMP burst, small, local. Enough to scramble the collar, not kill the beast. The device on the creature sparked. It staggered, yelped, cables slackened. The girl crumpled, no strength left to even flinch as the tension released. I rushed forward. "Don't touch her!" a voice snapped behind me. I whirled around. 3 enforcers emerged from the ridge above, dressed in jagged chrome armor with insignias not of Dreamar but something far worse. Paltor fracturemen, mercenaries, scavengers, not bound by protocol, slavers under a corporate flag of secrecy. "She's property," the tallest hissed. "Touch her again, and we carve your insides. For coolant." My fingers grazed the handle of my arc lance. I lied smoothly, voice like gravel. "I'm Dreamar Sector 5. She's tagged as contraband under Intergalactic Article 7. She's not yours." The shortest merc spat. "We captured her under Clause 19. Free roamers from unregistered systems are fair claim." Clause 19 was repealed 2 cycles ago, I said coldly. The silence that followed told me they hadn't kept up with galactic law. Perfect. Still, I knew they wouldn't walk away. Not with what she was, not with who she might be. My mind raced. I needed leverage. Time. "She's infected," I said suddenly. "You dragged a Phase V Theta strain for 10 days. Congratulations, you're all dead in less than a week." They hesitated. One stepped back instinctively. The bluff landed. I used the distraction. Arc lance unsheathed, I surged forward. First strike to the leader's leg, second to his jaw. Blood sprayed black under twin suns. The second merc fired, but I rolled behind the beast. The bolt struck its hide, barely phasing it. The girl, still bound, shifted enough to shield her face from the dust storm now spiraling around us. Third merc tried to run. I shot him in the back. No hesitation. Only one remained, moaning on the canyon floor, clutching his shredded arm. I approached. "Whose orders?" He spat blood. "You'll burn for this." I leaned in. "Who owns her?" He smiled with broken teeth. "She doesn't even know what she is, but the ones who do, they'll rip you out of your own bones." Then he passed. Out. I turned back to the girl. She was unconscious now, skin shimmering with an unnatural light. Her breath, shallow. Her veins glowed faintly. Not human. Not fully anything I'd seen before. I carried her to Earless. Inside the cruiser, I activated a med repair. The system struggled to read her vitals, adapting its parameters in real time. Cellular anomalies, biospectral fluctuations beyond even hybrid readings. She was something else. I locked coordinates to the abandoned observatory at Zephyral's Edge, a place I knew had shielding, silence, and secrets buried deep. As we launched, she stirred. Her voice was barely audible. "Why?" I hesitated. "Because you looked at me like you hadn't given up." Tears formed but did not fall. "You'll be hunted." I nodded. "Already am." She blinked slowly. "I don't remember. My name. I did something I hadn't done in years. I offered her one. Sarai." She whispered it like it was a secret spell. The engines roared as we climbed through cloud layers and vanished into stormlight. I didn't know what she was, but I knew what she wasn't. She wasn't staying chained. Not anymore. Zephyral's Edge loomed like a cathedral of decay, jagged antennas spiraling skyward, long abandoned by science, now claimed by dust and myth. My cruiser Aurelius glided between collapsing towers, landing on a platform coated in solar ash. I carried Sarai inside. Her weight felt less like burden and more like purpose. She hadn't spoken since her whispered question, "Why?" But her presence buzzed against my skin, as if the air changed wherever she breathed. I placed her on the repair slab beneath the observatory's central dome, shielding her from overhead sensors. Here, I knew how to disappear. Medical diagnostics resumed. Sarai twitched as nanobots crawled over her skin, scanning, healing, reading, but then the machines stopped. The system froze, not crashed, paralyzed. Lights flickered. Electromagnetic interference surged, coming from her. Her heartbeat wasn't rhythm, it was code. Each pulse vibrated frequencies like a language, but one even my universal translator couldn't decipher. "Who the hell are you?" I murmured. Her eyes snapped open, not glowing, blazing. She sat upright with impossible speed, eyes wide with something like panic or memory. "I saw them," she whispered. I took a cautious step back. "Saw who?" "White-robed ones, eyes like obsidian. They cut me open without bleeding me." Her voice broke into glass. "They named me something, but burned it from my tongue." My pulse accelerated. White-robed figures. Surgical memory removal. Non-lethal vivisection. Not slavers. Scientists. "Do you remember where?" I asked. She shook her head violently. "Just the humming, the red walls, and a silver door that spoke in riddles." Before I could respond, my proximity sensor wailed. We were tracked. I checked the feed. 3 incoming vessels, black shell design, unmarked, no transponder codes. Silencers. I cursed under my breath and initiated the lockdown. "Sarai, listen to me. Do you trust me?" She hesitated, eyes narrowed, then nodded once. "Good. Get under the stabilizer grid. Don't make a sound." She obeyed, still sluggish, still aching, but aware. More aware than I expected. As the grid sealed around her, cloaking her vitals, I moved to the outer corridor and prepped for intrusion. The outer hatch exploded inward with surgical precision. No shouting, no warnings, just movement. 3 intruders in kinetic armor, faces obscured by mirrored masks. I moved like wind through rusted metal. First enemy down, crushed larynx. Second shot at my shoulder. I let it graze, then tackled him. Through the star map projector, lights flared, their vision blurred. Third one, though, moved like me. No hesitation. calculating. We clashed, hand to hand. Arc lance versus pulse blade. Sparks flew. My blade caught his side, but he stabbed into my thigh. I gritted my teeth, feigned weakness. He lunged for a killing blow. I twisted last second, driving my hidden dermal blade under his ribcage. He fell, choking. As he died, his helmet flickered, off, and my breath froze. He looked like me, not figuratively. Exactly like me. Same scar under the chin. Same eye color. Same asymmetry in the jawline. A clone? No, an echo. The Dreamar had experimented with echo shell replication in black projects, perfect copies made from memory, not cells. A psychological weapon. No soul. Just imitation. But who would use my echo? And why here? I staggered back to Sarai. The stabilizer grid deactivated. She crawled forward, touching my leg where blood pooled. She placed her hand over the wound, and something happened. A warmth flooded through me. Pain dulled. Tissue knit. The bleeding stopped. She stared in confusion at her own hands. I don't know how I did that. I think your body does, I said quietly. You're not just a prisoner. You're a project. Her lips trembled. What do they want with me? I don't know, I admitted. But I think the real question is, what were you meant to become? That night, while the observatory remained in stasis, I reviewed the corpse of my double. His neural implant contained fragments of directive data, phrases like phase core integration, symbiotic merge, and entity must not breach threshold. Entity? They didn't see her as a person. They saw her as a gate. Sarai woke mid-cycle, standing barefoot under the shattered skylight, staring at stars with tears like mercury running down her face. I remember a voice, she whispered. Not outside me. Inside. Telling me not to break. Telling me the world depends on me. Then that voice was right. She turned to me. You don't even know if I'm dangerous. I stepped closer. You already are. She flinched. Not to me, to them, to everyone who tried to turn you into something less than what you are. She swallowed. Then help me become what they fear. My breath caught, because in that moment her voice wasn't afraid anymore. It was a promise. The next morning we left Zephyral's Edge and headed toward the ghost system of Corellos, once a hub of biological weaponry, now quarantined and erased. From maps. But I knew something the galaxy didn't. Corellos held the origin of the project that created Sarai. I knew because I once guarded it, before I defected, before I forgot what loyalty meant. As Ireli sliced through the stars, Sarai sat, beside me, her hand tracing the air where starlines bent. Her veins glowed faintly again. But now they formed symbols. Ancient. Unreadable. Like scripture stitched into flesh. What are those? I asked. I don't know, she said. But they hurt. I reached out, fingers brushing the symbols. A vision slammed into me, blinding, deafening, like falling into an ocean of memory not mine. A planet split in half, a screaming child with silver blood, a chorus chanting in languages that bent gravity, and a mirror, with Sarai's face, but eyes, black as event horizons. I reeled back. Sarai steadied me. You saw it too. I nodded, heart hammering. What was that? I think, she whispered. I'm not just a prisoner or a gate. I think I'm a key. The ship shuddered as it exited Slipstream. Corellos lay ahead, gray, silent, cracked like a skull, and waiting for us. Corellos welcomed no one. Once a crown jewel of interstellar bioresearch, now it rotted under a dead sun, its atmosphere thick with static and regret. Orbiting satellites drifted like corpses, unblinking sentinels warning us to turn away. I didn't. Sarai stood beside me in the cockpit, her reflection cast against the fractured display. Feels familiar, she said, voice distant. The proximity sensors screamed once as we pierced the planet's cloud layer, then went eerily silent. No drones, no auto-defense systems, just silence, the kind that waits with its teeth bared. We landed on the edge of what used to be Facility D0N, also known in Black records as the Crove, a place that didn't exist, not in any archive. Not even in Dreamar's private files. But I had been here once, when I was still a tool, when I still believed some chains were called duty. I'd walk these halls in a different uniform, guarding creatures I didn't understand. One of them must have been her. Sarai looked around as we entered the ruins, her fingertips brushing cold walls, as if she felt echoes. The facility was a decayed labyrinth, collapsed corridors, data cores long stripped, power lines like torn veins. But deep beneath the main lab, the vault remained. We followed descending ramps for hours, deeper than logic should allow. She paused at a sealed gate made of obsidian alloy, embedded with 9 identical handprints. I've seen this door in my dreams, she said. Dreams? Memories wearing masks. She raised her hand, hesitant, unsure. Her palm hovered over one imprint. The door reacted instantly. A hum reverberated. Dust lifted. Symbols lit up, matching those glowing in her. Veins. The gate dissolved. Behind it, the vault. Circular, monolithic, a chamber lined in mirrored panels. At the center, a throne of light and a cocoon. It pulsed faintly. Organic, technological, a synthesis. I scanned it, but my equipment fuzzed out. No readings. Sarai stepped closer. What is this? I asked, her voice cracked. It's me. What? Do you mean? This is what they took from me. My origin. And then the cocoon split open with a whisper. Inside wasn't another version of her. It was energy. Condensed. Sentient. It floated toward her, slow, reverent. Sarai collapsed to her knees as it entered her body. Her scream wasn't human. It shattered glass. I grabbed her, but my hands burned. Then, silence. She opened her eyes. Not glowing, not blazing, but alive in ways I didn't know life could be. And something else now spoke through her voice. I remember now. My name is Verisil. I was never made to be a weapon. I was a warning. A surge of memories slammed into me. Hers. Mine, others. The galaxy's founding secrets. The beings before stars. The pack that built the Dreamar conglomerate not from ambition, but fear. They feared what I would awaken, Verisil whispered. Because I am not alone. My knees buckled under the weight of it. You're part of a species? I managed. No, she said. I'm part of a system. A failsafe. One that activates only when the universe breaks its own laws. She turned toward the mirrored wall, and it responded, showing us 1,000 versions of her, chained, killed, corrupted. In every one, a human stood beside her, not always me, but always. Someone who chose to protect, and that choice triggered her full awakening. This is the last timeline, she said. After this, the loop ends, either with rebirth or collapse. Suddenly, alarms rang. The facility lit red. Irelis, I shouted into my comms. Emergency lift extraction. Hostiles inbound, the AI replied calmly. 30 seconds. I turned to Verisil. Can you move? She nodded, though her body shook. We sprinted through the collapsing halls, dodging falling steel and plasma. Cracks. The facility, sensing reactivation, was destroying itself. At the surface, a ship hovered, but not ours. Black, angular, Dreamer design. They'd followed us. Irelis lay in wreckage nearby, its wings torn, cockpit scorched. I swore, grabbed Verisil's hand. The enemy ship opened. A single figure stepped out. Not armored, not armed. A woman. She looked wrong. Like she had too many joints, too many faces, shifting behind one skin. She smiled. Hello, Verisil, or do you prefer Sarai still? Verisil stiffened. You, the woman tilted her head. We never wanted you dead. We wanted you awakened. Just under control. I stepped forward. She's not yours anymore. The woman blinked at me. Ah, the rescuer. Every loop has one. Then she did something impossible. She split into 3. Each version moved independently. Same voice, same mind, separate bodies. I am Vexura, they said in unison. Prime architect of the Nullborn Accord. Verisol's veins flared bright gold. I know what you are now, she said. And yet you're not ready, Vexura replied. You may have touched your source, but your convergence is incomplete. Then, let's finish it, I said, raising my arc lance. The first Vexura lunged. I met her with steel and pain. Verisol backed away, eyes closing. She whispered a word I couldn't hear. Light exploded from her. The second Vexura disintegrated. The third screamed, her voice fracturing reality around us. But Verisol kept walking forward. Calm. The air thickened like the pause before. Thunder! She placed her hand against the final Vexura's chest. You wanted my power, Verisol whispered. Now choke on it. A scream echoed not in sound, but in memory. Vexura unraveled, not as matter, but as concept. Erased. Gone. Silence fell. Verisol collapsed into my arms. I can't hold it, she murmured. I'm not whole yet. We'll find the rest, I promised. Together. She looked up at me. Why do you keep choosing me? I smiled despite the ruin around us. Because you never asked to be a weapon. But you became someone worth fighting for. Later, after salvaging what remained of Irelis, we escaped through a stolen shuttle, fading into radiation clouds before Dreamar could trace us. Verisol slept beside me, radiant even in exhaustion. Her transformation wasn't over. But now she knew who she was, and I knew I'd follow her to the edge of whatever came next, because fate didn't give me a mission. It gave me her. We drifted through the Kelran Scar, a region no starship dared cross unless it had nothing left to lose. He had nothing left but her. Verisol lay still in the medical bay of our stolen shuttle, her skin faintly translucent now, veins pulsing with shifting constellations. She wasn't dying. She was becoming. After the confrontation at Corellos, her power had ignited like wildfire. But fire always costs something. Her voice echoed in my head now, telepathic, unsure. They'll come, all of them, the ones who seeded this galaxy, the ones who locked my kind away. I steered us toward the ghost world of Nimerath, a planet swallowed by magnetic storms, cloaked in a constant aurora of electric blue. No radar, no long-range scans. It was the perfect place to disappear. But hiding was only temporary. She needed something more. Integration. Reunification. Whatever Dreamar had split from her in the vault wasn't the end. Her energy signature pulsed erratically, fragments searching for their counterparts. I couldn't understand it fully, but I could protect her while she remembered. The problem was, we weren't alone anymore. They followed us with silence. No ships, no signatures, just absence. The kind of presence that bent light and canceled time. And when they arrived, it wasn't with weapons, it was with questions. The sky of Nimerath cracked open like glass, and a shape descended. Not a vessel, not a creature, but a thought given geometry. A lattice of burning silver spiraled toward our camp. Verisol stepped out to greet it. Her form had changed again, taller, light cascading through her hair like waterfalls. Her eyes held galaxies now, not just stars. From the lattice emerged a voice, cold, ancient, neither male nor female. You are early. Verisol nodded. I awoke. Too soon. Your fractals remain unaligned. You risk collapse. She looked at me before answering. Then I'll fall beside someone who chose me, not because of what I could unleash, but because I was lost. The lattice flared. The human contaminates the sequence. I stepped forward. She's not a weapon. She's not a prophecy. She's someone. That should be enough. The lattice unfolded, becoming a circle. Inside it, visions, worlds burning, beings screaming, Verisol broken, chained again. Endless iterations of her failure. They were trying to scare her. She reached out and touched the vision. It shattered. No more loops, she said. No more resets. I choose this path. Then she did something impossible. She pulled me into her mind, and I saw everything. Before stars were born, there were catalysts, energy that shaped time, memory, and matter. Verisol was one of them, splintered and hidden across galaxies in case the great machine of civilization ever spiraled too far into cruelty. The Dreamar found her pieces, crafted her into weapons, pets, trophies. But I had met her fragment, not her fury. And now she was choosing to reassemble not as vengeance, but as hope. Inside her mind, I heard her name echo again. Verisol. But I also heard mine. Spoken not as a title, as a promise. She pulled me back out. The lattice shivered. If you walk this path, we cannot guarantee survival. Verisol smiled. Then, I'll create something that doesn't need it. She raised both arms and summoned her other selves. Tears of light fell from the sky. Each drop became a version of her, caught in different timelines. Some wore armor. Some wore scars. Some bore wings, others chains. They gathered behind her. I stood alone until she reached back and took my hand. I'm not complete without you, she whispered. Not because I need you to fix me, but because you reminded me I exist. Together, we stepped into the lattice and shattered it. The impact of her full awakening rippled across time. Worlds paused. Systems froze. Stars flickered like candles in a storm. The Dreamar Empire's control grids collapsed. Vexura's remnants blinked out of every dimension at once. On the ground, people felt it in their bones. A sense that something had just changed, and in the core of it all stood Verisol, not as a queen, not as a weapon, but as a living declaration. Enough. In the aftermath, she built nothing. She didn't become a ruler. She vanished, her light scattered into stardust, leaving only a whisper of warmth across space. Some say she died. Others say she became a frequency only those with compassion can hear. As for me, I returned to the fringes of space, a quiet place with no name. I grow things now, real things, soil, water, roots. Every evening I watch the sky, and when the stars flicker gold, I know she's still out there. Verisol, the girl they bound, the force they feared, the one I chose, and the one who chose not vengeance but love.